everyone, and welcome back to Exposing SMG. Today we are going to be talking about Selena Gomez and what she reveals about herself on her album Rare. Oftentimes for Selena, people always dismiss everything she does, so it's not often that someone listens to what she's saying through her music or even interviews.
My biggest inspiration is my experiences.
Today we are going to discuss some of the challenges Selena faces that no one has mentioned before and see how she views her relationship with, you guessed it, Justin Bieber. Watch till the end to get my final thoughts on her album. Rare was released on January 10th, 2020, and it is her third solo studio album. The album was supposed to demonstrate Selena finding herself while getting over Justin. When I first heard this album, I had a review on it on exposingsmg.com, and I gave it a 6 out of 10 stars. I was confused about where the personal growth was, and at first a lot of the songs were quite forgettable. But this is not my same opinion in 2021. Today we are going to talk about 3 songs that often don't get any type of lyrical credit, which are Let Me Get Me, Cut You Off, and Kind of Crazy. With Let Me Get Me, Selena is opening up a little bit about the self-sabotage that she indulges in the past. I know this may come as a shocker for people, but Selena isn't always living a perfect life as portrayed. Oftentimes she's feeling emotional and upset.
It's called Let Me Get Me. So don't let yourself get yourself down. Don't let yourself get yourself down.
You can literally see that in the lyrics here, where she's constantly reminding herself to be happy. She says, "No self-sabotage, no letting my thoughts run. Me and the spiral are done. Burn this camouflage I've been wearing for months, trying to let in a little happy for once." Wait, I said that wrong. Trying to let a little happy in for once. Got her mind. She's giving us a lot to work with here. She's basically saying that she's not going to overthink and be in the same sad state that she was in for months. She's saying that she won't self-sabotage by ruining her own mood, and she's gonna try and be happy for once. This song obviously takes place after the Bieber breakup in 2018, where she's letting us know how she was sitting in depression for months. A fact that most people didn't know, and I don't know why. I mean, it's kind of obvious she wasn't happy during this time. A lyric I always pay attention to is when she says, "Me and the spiral are done." Like I said, people always have a hard time associating Selena with anything but perfect, but as she says here, she did have a downward spiral for a long time. Don't get me down, I won't let me get me. I'm good right now, I won't let me get me. Once again, she is reminding herself not to be upset and give in to her overthinking thoughts that only make her feel worse.
I start having a better understanding of why I react a certain way and why I do things, and, maybe I shouldn't, do certain things as well.
This song is Selena basically getting lost in the music and dancing, but whenever I hear this song, I think she's fully lost in whatever party she's at, because she constantly mentions not letting her thoughts run while she's out at a party. This later gets proven in the song when she says, "Dancing intimately, I'm so connected to me. In the dark, I'm letting go so anonymously. I guess this is what it feels like to be free." I just picture an upset Selena throwing all of her problems and emotions away at a dance party, which is why even though the lyrics are sort of positive, there is still a sad atmosphere around it. And I think Selena intended for it to be that way because ultimately dancing at a party doesn't solve any issues permanently. And this is something a lot of us can relate to.
There's a song that I basically said I can't let myself let me down. And I wanted to kind of interpret that as like every time I feel bad, I always end up going into this spiral and I just feed it.
The next song we are going to discuss is Cut You Off. Cut You Off was definitely a grower on me. I believe when I first heard this song, I said it was a mid-tempo song that's painful to listen to, while describing the beat as something I would hear in a song from 2015. But now, I love this song. This song is obviously about Justin Bieber and her relationship with her. Pull up to the mirror staring at my face, gotta chop all that extra weight. I've been carrying it for 1460 days, gotta clean my slate. Oh, she ended him. The funny part about this was when she released this album, 1460 days ago was supposed to represent 4 years of Jelena, but other people believe it represented 4 years since her last album, Revival. And I might as well just tell you while I'm drunk, yeah. The truth is that I think I've had enough. Professionally messing with my trust, how could I confuse that shit for love? This is a lot to take in. This may come as a surprise for Selena's 9-year-old fans, but yes, Selena does often indulge in drinking and get drunk. I have a whole video on her being wasted at multiple public events, bless her soul. And we know Jelena was toxic as hell. I could do a whole video on them and their pros and cons, but they both went through a lot in that relationship. She then says, "So I gotta get you out of my head now, I just cut you off. You out my head now, I just cut you off. When I'm without you, I don't overthink it, I just carry on." Honestly, good for her. Jelena was like a drug to each other. It was this exciting thing of doing something wrong for both of them. You know when you do something you're not supposed to do, so you get that exciting feeling? But ultimately, it ended in flames, and she even sings about that in her song Vulnerable, where she says, "If I show you all my demons and we dive into the deep end, would we crash and burn like every time before?" And oh, trust me, they always crashed and burned. The next and last song we're going to analyze is Kinda Crazy. That's the title, it's not crazy. This is another song I didn't like at first when I reviewed this album. I thought it was very boring, but now I realize maybe I'm the problem, because this song found a way to crawl into my heart. I love this song, it reminds me of Melanie Martinez's music, and in my book, if anything's gonna sound like Melanie, that's just another plus for me. I do believe this song is once again about Justin. I think they're both kind of crazy when it came to each other. Hey, I scared my mic. Hey, you started out sweeter than hard candy. Words like licorice to the taste, but slowly all the sugar went to waste. Do people actually like licorice? This is Selena talking about a relationship that starts off so sweet and fun, but then turns sour. She continues by saying, "Oh, you started getting funny with no jokes. I started seeing through you like a ghost, and now I'm pretty sure I can't take no more." Just sad. The whole relationship, I mean. It's tough and there were so many issues between them. I honestly think the healthiest thing they did was to move on. "I think you're kind of crazy and not the good kind, baby, 'cause you're acting super shady. You know it, you know it. Been dodging phone calls lately but still texting me, baby. Yeah, I think you're kind of crazy." I think they're both kind of crazy, actually. Now, in this part, she's talking about the realization of when things started getting bad. She started viewing this person as low-key crazy. She mentions that the person was very shady towards her, and if we believe this is about Justin, then I can say they both shaded each other. Selena's a bit hypocritical on this album because what she sings about someone doing to her is what she's actually done in action before, and I have a whole video on Selena constantly shading Justin, or whenever she would randomly get involved in his problems, for example, him and Sophia Richie. I mean, I applaud her for growth, I guess, but she does have a very good job at throwing all the blame on one person rather than both people involved.
Because, you know, one of the worst moments of my life ended up being the biggest blessing of my life.
She continues by saying, "Hey, you're the one who started talking to me, made the move, asked me to be your bae. And now you're treating me like I'm insane. You're insane." I love this part.
This one's one of my favorites.
It shows how they drove each other to insanity, and I can only imagine during arguments it would be, "I'm not crazy, you're crazy." The best part about Jelena is that they're both singers, so they will both tell their side of the story through song. But that's usually what Justin will do, while Selena will tell it in interviews. And hearing both sides of the story, you can come to an agreement that they're both better off without each other. I don't care who's wrong, who's right, they're just better off without each other. The reason why a lot of these songs had to grow on me when I first reviewed this album is because I wasn't used to a calm tempo when it came to Selena music. She was always releasing hectic songs without any ballads, so when I first heard this album I was like, snooze fest? I was expecting a Me and My Girls mixed with Come and Get It, but I liked it a lot better after I got over this fact because it turned out to really grow on me. And I do like the style of music for her, I think it fits really well, and I even did Revival and Stars Dance. I hope you guys enjoy this rare analysis. There were so many different songs to choose from, but I always went back to those three. I didn't want to analyze the popular ones because they were shoved down our throats so much from the media and all the headlines. Let me know what other songs you want me to analyze from other stars. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.